Hey there, it's Sam. So it's Monday here in San Francisco. Well, it's Monday everywhere, but I'm in San Francisco, near the water. And I'm just making a quick little video about the upcoming week. This week we do have three pretty important things, or pretty major things that'll be affecting at least the early part of the week, and then they change later. But first part of the week we're going to have this change between the Sun, Venus, and Mercury retrograde. They're all going to kind of gather around the 0 Leo point, 0 degrees of Leo. And that's kind of interesting because, the Sun and Venus are like right on top of each other right now, which definitely it's what's called combustion. And Venus is furthest away from the Earth right now, which, when a planet is retrograding combust, it's actually really close to the Earth. It's at its closest. Only the inner planets can never be retrograde and combust, but when a planet is just combust and not retrograde like Venus now, then it's the furthest away from the Earth than it gets. So this is what's happening now. Venus is as far away from the Earth as possible. So this is really something that helps you understand what the combustion is about. It's literally behind the Sun, and so what happens is that its indications become somewhat confused, you might say, or somewhat you might say burned up, but they also become really activated. And this is a process of purification, really, that has to do with burning off the impurities of that energy. So with Venus, it's actually the energy of feeling respected, being respected, and acting disrespectful as a way to kind of disrupt the process. So what this means is that we may be really touchy around the issue of respect and feeling respected and paying a lot of attention to how respected we are by others, especially, for instance, our romantic partners and whatnot. And this touchiness creates sort of outbursts and sensitivity. Kind of like when we have a little wound, we kind of protect it. And combustion is sort of like that. It creates this kind of flashpoint. And with Venus, it's around respect and appreciation. It doesn't have to do with damaging the skills and the creativity, especially like whatever Venus rules as a house ruler, or whatever Venus can give you. Like, for instance, it doesn't deprive relationships. It doesn't deprive creativity. And in fact, because it's joined the Sun, it actually energizes it. So it brings a lot of energy to that thing. But, and for instance, that's like if it's a natal placement. But in the sky right now, notice the sensitivity and the flashpoint that's created around self-respect, respecting others. Notice how you're on the verge of disrespecting others because they're not respecting you. This kind of thing is how the combustion manifests quite a lot. So what we're seeing now is Venus, Sun, very close to each other, and Mercury retrograde passing right in front of it. And so this is the other thing, is that while Venus is as far away from the Earth as it gets, Mercury is as close to the Earth as it gets, because Mercury is retrograde and combust, and Venus is just combust. So this is a great study in how one is retrograde and combust and one is just combust. So with Mercury, it's as close to the Earth as it ever gets. So you're very aware of the sort of inner content and the inner quality of what's being expressed and what's being communicated. So hopefully you're paying more careful attention to your words. And if you're not, you're getting hammered over it. And this is what the Mercury retrograde is all about. By the time it passes in front of the Sun, we're at a sort of halfway point in the retrograde cycle. So we're about halfway in this Mercury retrograde cycle right now. It started going retrograde, and we saw all these things backing up, including, like, for instance, the financial, the financial corrections in the market and stuff. Now it's getting right on top of the Sun, which is like the halfway point, and then it keeps going. So we're at the point now where we're really challenged to sort of get the message of how well we're able to communicate with each other and how flexible we are. This is a big part of the Mercury problem. We have problems with Mercury when we're not flexible, when we're inflexible. And we're saying, I'm not going to do it this way, I'm going to do it this way. and Mercury is saying, no, you need to adjust. And we're like, I don't want to adjust. I'll just keep trying this. And then because we don't make the adjustment, the thing breaks. And then we say, oh, Mercury retrograde did this to me. Mercury retrograde makes us aware of our inflexibility often. So, but I've personally had a lot of interesting things happen in this Mercury retrograde cycle with, first of all, having some technical foul-ups and even making some purchases, which at the moment seemed ill-advised because it's like Mercury retrograde, you shouldn't buy something, but actually there was technical problems with the thing that I bought, but it actually compelled me to look deeper and find a better solution, which I did find. And so, all in all, it was a very good thing, and it's brought a lot of benefit. So all of these things are happening just in a larger sense, but what makes it a little more subtle is that they're going to cross paths, and they're going to happen right at the conjunction, right at the juncture of the Cancer-Leo axis, which is called the Gandanta point. It's a very sort of unstable point, and this is mainly Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to see these planets shift. Literally, Mercury passes in front of the Sun, and Venus passes behind the Sun as the Sun is moving into sidereal Leo. Very interesting. So you may feel like energy is just a little bit unsettled right now, and even starting yesterday and today, which is Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to feel a little bit in transition, but we're getting ready for a great transit. This Sun going through sidereal Leo, aspected by Jupiter, is going to be awesome from, the middle of August till the middle of September. So that's what's coming up in the, from like Thursday, after the Sun is really established in Leo, it'll be really powerful, because then we'll have Sun-Venus in Leo, and they're getting the trinal aspect from Jupiter, which is very powerful to allow us to reconnect with our enlightened path and our enlightened purpose. Leo is the sign of fixed fire, which is our enduring actions based on what gives us the highest sense of dignity and pride and strength. And so when the Sun goes there, it's the time where we're really aware of that. And the fact that it'll be joined Venus, which actually rules the 10th house from Leo and aspected by Jupiter in Aries, it's going to really bring together our principles, our teachings, our courageous actions, and a sense of beauty and enjoyment, which comes from Venus. So that's what's coming. But this week, the early part of the week, especially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you may seem a little bit like the ground is a little shaky underneath of you. But the thing to do is don't do something, drastic or silly. It'll be changing. By the time we get to Thursday, Friday, you'll be feeling a lot more confident about what you're doing. So that's that. The other thing, what was the other thing? Did I have something else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, the other thing is that Mars and Saturn are moving up to their exact aspect, their exact mutual aspect. Mars will be aspecting 4 houses in front and Saturn 10 houses in front. This is a mutual aspect between Saturn and Mars. So we're feeling this encroaching and approaching stress around summoning the courage to face our fears and to be determined to work through challenges. And so it's a great time for us to really take on challenges and things that, scare us or things that we've been putting off because they're unpleasant. But in the process, we have to face them. We become aware of them. So things get difficult. We have competitors. We have challenges. We have obstacles we're not sure we can face. And then we face them. So this is what the planets do. They give us the energy so that we can then work it. So you're going to be working that one too. Mars and Saturn, the energy of determination and discipline, effort, and enthusiasm and passion to make ourselves stronger. These things are also coming together, and they're going to be it'll be an exact aspect between Mars and Saturn. I believe it's August 26th is when it gets within really tight orbit. By this time next week, they'll be really, really tight. So that's it. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think of this quick update on the week of August 15th.